Story of the time I lost my little sister at the boardwalk. So this past summer, me and my sister went to the boardwalk a lot. Like, just the two of us. We would walk around. We would try to find, like, a little boyfriend for her, whatever. I'm just kidding. Like, I was trying to find a boyfriend for her because, like, she was depressed over some loser from school that, like, played her and stuff. So I was like, you know what? You need to find a new boy to talk to. Like, come on. Like, she doesn't need a boy. Don't get me wrong. Now I'm about to go into a rant how she doesn't need no man and she's an independent woman. But, like... well, independent 14-year-old girl. She's not a woman, but you know. So anyway, we've already walked up and down the boardwalk a few times. We got food, we got ice cream, you know, we were there for a minute already. And every so often, we would walk past this boy that she thought was really cute. I was like, come on, just go up to him, you know, be bold, ask him for his Snapchat or whatever. What's the worst that could happen? He says no, and then you walk away depressed, and we go get more ice cream. Like, well, she didn't want to do that. And oh, before I forget to mention, I don't know if you guys seen my story time about the creepy old man from the mall that I used to work at that would just sit there all day and just stare at children. So, guess who was at the boardwalk that day? Yeah, him, creepy dude. So I literally, the whole time, I'm like, Naomi, you need to be next to me, attached to my hip, because this man is here today. What is he? He has no business being at a boardwalk by himself full of children. Like, what is he doing? But anyway, so she's like, can you ask him, the guy that's cute, because I'm too nervous. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's fine. So she gives me her phone. She's like, tell him to put his snap in my phone if he says yes. And I'm like, okay, you stay at this store. Because the kid was sitting on a bench right next to this store. So I'm like, you stay at this store, right? And she's like, okay. So I go up to the kid. I'm like, hey, this is my cousin. I show him a picture. I'm like, she thinks you're really cute. She was wondering if she can get your Snapchat. And he was like, yeah, of course. Like, she's really pretty. And I was like, perfect. So put your snap in her phone. So he does. And I turn around to go celebrate the good news with her. And poof, she's gone. Vanished. Goodbye. Where did she go? Beats me. And I'm literally standing here like, I have her phone right now. There is a creepy schmuck walking around this boardwalk just looking to kidnap a kid. By the way, this is her. This right here, this is her. This is her little Harry Houdini, vanish, poof, in midair looking self. So anyway, I asked this guy from the games thing to start announcing her name because I'm like, okay, I don't care. He had a microphone, maybe she'll hear it. And then her little self comes out of bush, all giggly, smiley, happy, like I wasn't about to call the SWAT team on her. I'm about to give you a rundown on narcissistic boyfriends, so you can see the signs before you get yourself mixed up with one. So step one, they're gonna completely love bomb you. When you first start hanging out, it can literally be a day or a week into it, and he'll already be talking about, oh, you're the best girl I've ever been with, you're so beautiful, I can't get over how I'm with you right now, like I'm nothing compared to you, you're amazing. Will literally worship the ground you walk on, which, don't get me wrong, feels amazing, but is way too much, way too soon. Then a few weeks in, they start to really pour out their insecurities. They start projecting, honey, projecting. And you know what that means? That means that they're so insecure because they're doing exactly what they're accusing you of doing. So I'll give you a quick little example. My ex would think in the beginning that I would only go into certain stores because I seen somebody that was attractive. He thought that I would go to certain places just for the sole reason because somebody worked there. So God forbid if I forgot to tell him, oh, I stopped off to get gas at this gas station, because then he would swear up and down that I was doing something sneaky. When meanwhile, that's what he was doing. That's how his brain worked. He had these specific places that he would go to because he knew somebody worked there that he thought was attractive, he would flirt with, whatever. Anyway, next comes the part where they start telling you that you will never find anybody as good as them. That nobody in this planet will ever treat you as good as they treat you. Even though they don't even treat you with the bare minimum. They will throw these meaningless compliments at you and then just throw it in your face after and be like, don't I call you beautiful every single day? Just so that you have to be like, oh, you do, so I guess you're right. Even though you feel that there's something off. Mind you, during a narcissistic relationship, you will always feel that gut feeling that something's off. You gotta trust that. Cause girl, your intuition is never wrong. And then towards the end, they'll start to cheat because they found a new, easily manipulated, vulnerable girl. Then they will go insane when you leave them. Story of the time I almost fought a girl at my job. So I was a taxi driver, and I pick up this girl, I'm assuming she's coming from work. So it was a grocery store. I was parked originally where you're supposed to park when you're picking up or dropping off or loading groceries or whatever. But a police officer was there and they were telling me to move up. So when I moved up, her side of the door was blocked by garbage cans, which means that she would just have to walk around like a normal human being, like common sense, like just walk around. So she walks out right off the bat, she's like, do you see this? Like to her coworkers, trying to act all cool. And she gets in and she tells me where she's going. And I was like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? And then she repeats herself, and I was like, no, what'd you say when you were outside? And then she was like, oh, nothing, like, I was just saying that, you know, the garbage cans were blocking the door. And I was like, oh, okay, well, the police officer told me to move up, so, like, there's nothing I can do about that. Anyway, we're going, I make a wrong turn, not a big deal. Then she picks up the phone, calls somebody, she goes, hi, can you pick up my daughter because I'm actually going to be late because, no comment. So I literally laugh, and when I drop her off, she slams the door, so I get